Good Friday afternoon or evening. Look, I look different today.
You look sick.
Thank you.
And in a different room. And
In a
with
different room,
lights.
different lights. That's actually the sun.
Oh, there is such a thing.
Yeah. Guess what happened?
Look behind me. I haven't seen the sun in a long
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, so the thing that will not be named finally caught up to me. So I cannot stand for more than 5 or 10 minutes. I can walk forever. Still went on my walk. Everything's good. But if I just stand still, nope. Not going to happen. If the video glitches, it's this camera. It's a cheapo webcam, but hey, the show must go on.
Yeah.
By the way, if you
It's
don't know who we
okay.
are, yeah, it's fine. It's what it is. First time in how many years since we've been doing this that I've had to do it here? The first time?
I mean, first time.
Ever.
First
Yeah,
time
so-
as if first time, yes.
Yeah, so it's fine. Life goes on. And we'll see how it works out. I still prefer actually being, over in the studio. But today is that. So my name is Darren. This over here is Victor. Boy, this camera's really close. I mean, I'm really close. And we are the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays, we do this live show, even when we have the unnamed thing. And let's just get into it. Because Victor actually has something coming up at the top of the next hour. There's a little bit of news, and my meds are running out. And it's almost time for me to take another round. So break out your drink. Hey, we still have the drinks, right? We still have the drinks. And if I go ahead and press that, because that's going to help my throat. Let's look at the podcast for this week. How to reduce cloud development complexity. We had Aaron and Ala from Clotho. These guys have worked, if you look at their bios, they have worked at some pretty amazing places. Riot, Los Alamos. Ala was also at Microsoft and Riot. Very interesting. They're on from Clotho, and we talked about what Clotho can provide to help with stuff. I'd forgotten about this stuff. He started his journey on Commodore 64.
Oh, that was my second computer.
Second.
So
What was your first?
not
Altair?
Amstrad.
Amstrad. I knew it was the A word, but okay.
Yeah.
Which we didn't have those in the States, or at least not back in those days.
Yeah, I'm never sure which ones existed where. The only one I'm sure that existed only in Europe, that's Sinclair. ZX Spectrum.
Right.
I didn't know about Amstrad.
Okay. So anyway, we talked about all the things, because cloud development is super simple, right? You just create it, you put it in the cloud, and it runs.
Yeah, you just find the closest cloud, open the window, look up, and throw it.
Okay. Semi-serious. I've got a project I'm working on right now, just a little dinky side project. And number one, it's doing an integration with Dropbox. So I'm doing a Dropbox thing. I'm going to grab a file out of Dropbox, process it, and drop it back into Dropbox. Right? You would think that would be simple. No, it's not. Well, if it was just me using it, yes, that would be no problem. But I've got like 2 or 3 people that want to use it. So it's not going to be a public Dropbox thing, but, closed type, beta type thing. I've forgotten how to do all that stuff. It's very, very annoying. But then I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll go to Heroku. Then I started thinking, well, no, I should use Fly. Because with Fly, I can get a persistent volume and just use SQLite. Because I need a little bit of data persistence. And I don't need a full database. So I could use SQLite. And Heroku doesn't have a persistent volume that I can remount. But Fly does. I was like, oh, okay, I could do all that. Anyway, that all goes to say, cloud complexity, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay. Anything else? Talk about cloud complexity.
Okay.
Oh, good grief. Snyk. How did I say that even wrong? Snyk announced their cloud product this week. And I started scratching my head going, weren't they cloud anyway?
I mean, they've been making pull requests on my Git repositories for a while now. So if that's not cloud, then I haven't installed Snyk anywhere or anything. So if that's not cloud, I don't know what it is.
So when I saw this come through, I was like, was this really 2022? Was this?
But this is about naming, right? There is probably now a product called Snyk Cloud. I'm guessing it's not necessarily a Snyk. There was no such service before, but now it's called Snyk.
Right.
Wow.
And they go into that in this press release about it's all based on the acquisition of Fugue made earlier this year. So it's basically a wrapper around that, and off you go. So the people at Snyk keep on getting more and more sneakier. Sorry. I couldn't help myself. It's the meds. That's what I'm going to say today. Predicted to be worth 77.5 billion in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's prediction of cloud security, not
Cloud
Snyk.
security. Yeah. Not Snyk. Yeah. So anyway, they also have in timing with Reinforce, which was the Snyk also has 2 people. Cloud Security Podcast is now part of Snyk.
Wait. What is Reinforce?
Reinforce is, let's just open it. Reinforce was the conference that happened last week or this week.
Reinvent, but for security, I guess.
I'm not sure, actually. But it's just like, it's a city by city thing. So I've seen it in, but I guess this one was just, okay, here we go. Learning conference focused on security, compliance, identity, and privacy. Yes, so
Okay.
Reinforces security. So anyway, they bought themselves a podcast.
Okay, what does that
Wait.
mean?
So they
Oh.
bought 2 people.
First of all, I know they didn't buy this podcast. I know that for sure.
No.
Or you've been hiding something from me.
No, trust me. You would know. You would probably know before I did. So Ash is Snyk's first cloud security advocate. And then Shilpi will continue as the lead program manager for the podcast. Congratulations, guys. I'm assuming they're both
Very
guys. I'm not sure. Here, we could...
Sounds like. I
Guess
don't know. Actually, Shilpi can go both ways in my head.
Reinforce, and that was it. So congratulations. I actually had not scrolled all the way to the bottom. So it just proves that podcasting can get you a job. Okay. Anyway.
But then it also proves that you need to have a podcast manager first.
Oh, yeah, we don't have that. Or am I it? I guess tag I'm it. Okay. So planning your next... So GitHub Projects. Now GA. So now this is the death of Jira?
Yeah, it's going in that direction. I mean, I've preferred using GitHub issues over Jira for a long time, but it was always missing decent way to organize all those issues. And actually, I've been using GitHub projects now for like on daily basis for half a year or longer, and it's good. It's like Trello.
Really? You feel like it's as good as Trello? Well,
Yeah,
got me
I
saying
mean,
wrong.
give or take.
Yeah. What makes it that much better for you?
Then Jira?
Or just compared to X? Doesn't really matter. What
We,
what makes it stand apart?
I mean, it's kind of, it's, imagine Trello, but with the ability to actually hook your issues into Trello instead of, so it's more, Trello hooked into issues. So, I create an issue, I want to continue creating GitHub issues, and then I just assign it to a project. And from there on, move it, lanes, Kanban style, left, right.
Okay. So now, and I remember this one I did read to the bottom. They had so many pictures. They're going to be adding a lot more new features, dependencies and relationships. That can only go wrong, I think.
Oh no, the second one can go terribly wrong.
Well, yes.
Kind of like, I prefer that over, let's say, Jira, simply because Jira has those rich and complex workflows that are inviting everybody to create rich and complex workflows. Kind of, if it's there, you're going to use it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to make my life miserable.
Yeah. Timeline layout, which is nice.
Yeah.
Mobile experience, good. And then
I never used GitHub Mobile. Does anybody use GitHub Mobile?
I have.
Man?
I have.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, where is it? I've got my 13 here, so I've got a little bit bigger screen, but still, it's fine in a pinch, but it's not great. I'll put it. It's the experience is very good, and to the point of great, but I can't do, I can't sit there for hours working on it. It'd be one of those things of, oh, I need to make a quick change. Okay, yeah, I can do that. That's good for that. So anyway, Projects is now completely GA.
Nice.
Okay. Next up, before we get there, Mayor, thanks for your comment there. We greatly appreciate it. And I probably completely butchered your name, and I ask for forgiveness. If possible, could you please explore Grafana, Tonka, and JSON?
Wait.
You want to capture that?
I need to check something. Give me a second.
Okay.
August 8th is the date.
August 8th. There you go.
You must admire the speed with which I work. You said it, and 1 minute later I already scheduled it to be released in like 10 days. It cannot get faster than that.
Well, you could. It could come out.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So you're doing all three of those? Boy.
Two.
Just two of them.
Third? Yeah, I mean Tonka and JSONet.
Tonka and then Grafana was the.
Yeah, I mean Tonka is from Grafana.
Oh, Tonka. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so it refers. I'm assuming it refers to company Grafana.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, that's actually already scheduled, and unless the agency that does editing animations and what's not does not mess it up, Monday after next.
Okay, got it. I saw this project this week. Brand new project called, I'm going to take a guess, Odigos? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
sounds like a cool name.
Just can't say it correctly. So it's an open source observability control plane. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Traces metrics and logs without any code changes. Sounds like magic.
Yeah.
So here we go. Automatic instrumentation. Sounds like agents. Based on the best open source tools. Based on OpenTelemetry and eBPF. Don't worry about collectors anymore. Don't have to deal with that. No more YAMLs. Okay. Anytime I see best practices, I just sort of ignore it. And cloud native, specially designed to instrument containers deployed in Kubernetes. Makes you happy.
Yeah.
Pick the tool that you want. Datadog, and I don't know the others. That's Grafana. What are these two?
What's missing there? What's missing?
I don't know.
Prometheus.
Oh, Prometheus. Anyway, let's take a look at the documentation. So, in short, there's everything we just did there. So, application developers, DevOps engineers, getting started, architecture. Here's what I wanted to look at, architecture. So, high-level architecture, you've got an instrumenter, an autoscaler, a scheduler, and a UI. There's the picture. So, it goes through all this stuff. Anyway, it all goes out to the observability vendor. And you go from there. The docs are early docs. I'll put it that way. They're not horrible, but it takes a while to sort of grok them. But they do support Java, Python, Go, .NET, and sadly JavaScript. But hey.
Hey, it's the most common language.
Look, I'm writing more JavaScript now than I am anything else. And that's just painful to admit.
Isn't it, and I'm completely out of the loop. I don't work with JavaScript for a long time, but isn't it that everybody moved to TypeScript?
Yeah.
I understood it kind of like what Go is to C, TypeScript is to JavaScript, right?
Yes.
And what Kotlin is to Java, right?
Yes. Well, the biggest thing is just type safety, but it goes much beyond that. But anyway, yes. I'm running a lot of TypeScript and unfortunately some JavaScript too, depending on what the project is. Anyway. So anyway, this looks pretty interesting. Where I found the most help was not this. It was actually going over and taking a look at the repository, which, let's go there. So it tells us, I guess it was, honeycomb and Grafana. Okay, so everybody supports traces. Only New Relic is supported across all three, and Datadog carries 2 of them. Helm install, and off you go. That's all you need. This seems like this should show up on your short list. If you're talking...
It readily happens that I actually went through something before you showed it in use. Kind of that almost.
Oh, did you go through this one?
Yeah, I mean, go through just as you did now through README and stuff. Not yet tried it.
Yeah.
But the instrumentation part is what sounds exciting to me.
Okay.
Being able to ship here or there, I have it
Whatever.
already. Kind of like
Yeah.
it saves me 15 minutes. Not a big deal. But instrumenting, that's potentially great. Because I would literally like to try to avoid writing kind of like for every 3 lines of code, 1 line of instrumentation.
It's painful. Okay, so that is. I can't remember what project it was, but they had actually said how to say their name, and that should be like everybody's. There should be an audio clip right here where you can always press play and hear it pronounced. Okay. You remember the charm bracelet guys?
I remember the name, but I don't remember what it is. What?
Do you remember these logos?
Charm. Yeah,
Charm.
yeah.
So
course,
bubble tea and all these other things. Well, they launched a new project this week called Gum.
Okay.
And it's a tool for glamorous shell scripts. So it's using bubbles and lip gloss in your aliases without writing any Go code. So now your shell scripts can take advantage of all the sweetness that Charm brings to the table.
It's nice. It's really cool.
So you can.
It's one of those companies I really admire. What Charm does, I think, is absolutely awesome. And I also give them extra credit on having unique style. You cannot not recognize them.
Like here's an example right here. So here's the script and here's it playing out. So you type in something, do the commit, and then blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's a very strange thing. And then you hit enter, I guess, and commit the change. You select which way you want to go, and I'm assuming that's probably it. That was it.
Yeah, nice.
So you got selects, you've got all built. So input, choosing, all that's available right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that behind the scenes it uses their Go libraries.
It is. Well, it says built on top of bubbles and lip gloss.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Nice.
So now you can write shell scripts to take advantage of that, which for somebody that is not a Go programmer on a day-to-day basis, I get a little bit of the sweetness out of it.
Yeah, and it's not only also, even if you are day-to-day basis Go programmer, kind of, there is time and place for shell scripts. Kind of, for something relatively simple, I'm not going to fire up Go.
Right. Speaking of something relatively simple, Copilot. This is simple, right?
I love it. I cannot not have it anymore. And I haven't been using it for a year or something like that. It's absolutely amazing.
So, obviously you've signed up for it in order to get access to it for now, but are you going to actually pay for it?
Yes.
You are going to pay for it.
I'm going. I don't remember. What is it? $5-6 bucks a month?
Yeah, it was like $60 a year, I think.
It's worth it, man. It's kind of.
Why do you say that?
Okay, so how much time something needs to save you for, on average, not necessarily you, kind of to save $5-6 bucks is a right price, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it saves me half an hour, it's already the right price. And it saves me a lot of time, really. Kind of like, it is not necessarily that it's going to be the best code ever and all that stuff, but it gives you a base like this. Hey, I want a web server. Poof. Hey, I want, what is it? This morning, actually, I started writing some code that sends messages to Slack, and just kind of a single comment. A function that sends messages to Slack. That was my comment, and poof, there it is. I need to modify it a bit. I need to tweak it. Also with Copilot, but it just saves me a lot of time. It's brilliant. Now, the problem is that you're not getting the best possible code and all that stuff, right? So, bad programmer is going to continue writing bad code with Copilot.
Would it be
Would it
worse code?
Probably not first, but it's not kind of going to improve your code. It's just going to let you focus more on things that matter.
I'm still hesitant. Like if it's stuff that's just going to be for me, that's not going to be under any sort of licensing, I'm fine using it. I'm still a bit concerned about the releasing.
Yeah, but what are the chances? Let's start with this. What are the chances that when you write, let's say you're writing the TypeScript, JavaScript that you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And imagine that you're writing with Copilot. Kind of, what are the chances really that you're going to hit licensing issues, independently of how Copilot treats, right? You're going to use it to do relatively. You're not going to use Copilot to end up having some complicated algorithm that exists only in Google and they own it, right?
Right.
I don't know. You want a web server. You want kind of. It's giving you that boilerplate code, which I don't imagine. I'm not saying that there is no chance that you enter into licensing issues, but I think that they're lower than people kind of scream about.
Yeah. Like I was writing a Jenkins file this week, a few Jenkins files. And it was great because I initially did the first stage and I created a second stage, and it automatically figured out what I wanted to do from the third stage based on the two previous stages. That was, I mean, I had to make a small modification, but it gave me all the boilerplate, and I tweaked out, I think, 5 characters. That was it.
You know, one of the things I really like about Copilot is that the more you use it the more code you write, the better understands your code and better suggestions it gives you. Initially, I thought that, okay, suggestion for one function will be equally good or bad as suggestion for another second function. But no, it really actually understands, give or take, what you already have in your code and bases suggestions on that. So if you use library X to do something, and then you say, hey, I would like to create a calculator, it will actually figure out, oh, you probably want calculator, not some random snippet. You want it based on this, and that in your already existing code base. So the more you use it, the more you understand how good it is, I believe. But let me go back to licensing. Let's say that Copilot doesn't exist. Let's not lie to each other. There is a strong chance that whatever you're writing in JavaScript that you mentioned, you're going to end up in Stack Overflow at one moment, right?
Well, except for today when it was down.
Okay, but
yeah.
If it wasn't,
It's a
right?
joke. Yes.
Now, what guarantees you have that there are no licensing issues with what you're copying and pasting from Stack Overflow?
Oh, absolutely zero. You're going to have the same problems there, actually worse.
Exactly. At least GitHub probably has certain mechanisms. I would bet that actually whichever mechanism, which I don't know, exists in Copilot to figure out what it should or shouldn't suggest is probably more advanced or better than actually in Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is pure randomness.
If I had the what's the word I'm looking for? Brain fog is real. If I had the ability to know that the only code that Copilot was trained on was, let's see, MIT and Apache, right? The most permissive licensing, then I wouldn't think twice about it. But I can't guarantee that it is.
Yeah, no. I completely agree with that. I'm just saying that I think that the same problem exists without Copilot.
Oh, I agree. Yes. I mean, Stack Overflow was the Copilot until Copilot existed.
Exactly. So, yeah, if that is a concern, it should be, then it's not only about Copilot. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's just easier now. It's because it's in editor.
It's easier. You kind of you spend less time finding the solution that is equally potentially problematic from licensing perspective.
Yeah.
My wild guess would be that Copilot uses exclusively public repositories, which does not guarantee that you're safe, right? Kind of potentially, theoretically, it could be a public repository that has a license that says you cannot use this. But then I think that we have a problem as industry. Kind of, I think that public repository by default should be assumed that it's permissive license.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go here. Only specific programming. Yeah, it does. In fact, I was typing something like that wasn't. I had opened up a new page, a new file inside VS Code, and I was just pasting in basically like a scratch pad. So I was just making some notes. Right, it wasn't even going to be a program, and it started filling out afterwards. Started making recommendations of what I should write next. So it had nothing.
You have the plugin installed in VS Code, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So it started recommending what my next line of text should be. It was pretty interesting.
I see that in non-supported places as well. I think that when they say, I think that they work globally, but that they as a company are putting special attention to certain languages, right? Special training for OpenAI. But theoretically it works everywhere, just not as good.
Yep. Miroslav, good to see you. Glad that you could join us here. And I can't even try that one. Hello to you.
Abdul Nasser. Oh, yeah, I cannot do that.
Okay. And for the people who are joining late, we're probably actually going to be wrapping up early today. In case you didn't hear, I have the unnamed thing, so I'm not feeling that great, and Victor has somewhere else to be as well. So why don't we just actually wrap it up early today? We don't have any other news. So Monday, you've got a video coming out on DevOps Toolkit. Yesterday, actually, if you haven't watched the replay of the live stream yet, we had Mauricio and Whitney on.
Yeah.
Which was very interesting. Yeah, it was really good. And and then next week you've got a Monday video. We have the Wednesday podcast, 6 a.m. Eastern. And then next Friday we'll be back here at our normal 1 p.m. Eastern time. Should be.
Without the one who cannot be named.
And it should be, let's just say, negative by then. I hope it's negative by then. It better be negative by then. But hey, not a big. It's just annoying. It's so annoying right now. It's like I can't think straight, and that's what bothers. Except, okay, it was funny. I was sitting down. I was like brain fog. Open up VS Code and started cranking out code as fast as I could. I was like, wait, what is this? What's happening here? Because I could think immediate like that. I had locked in, but as soon as I stopped typing code, it was like I went back to this fog. I was like.
You're lucky, man. I had a much more severe version of it. I thought I'm going to not wake up.
Was this the first one? Was this the one from 2019? Or not 2020?
Yeah,
2020.
The one after
Vegas.
After Vegas, yeah.
Okay. Which we're not sure if that's what it was, but more than likely it was. Just
Most
because.
Likely.
Based on
remember yelling at my girlfriend to go to the restaurant, send them all to hell because they sent me the food that is uneatable and stuff like that.
Oh, so you lost taste.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Actually, I thought I had yesterday until I realized because I got a soda. But I just figured out they didn't put enough syrup in the soda. So it was basically a weird flat carbonation. Just, it was bad.
Yeah, this kind of like the loss of taste that I had was kind of something that is unmistakable. Kind of like, there is no doubt, kind of like that. You simply cannot eat anything, period.
Okay, so let's just go and wrap it up for today so I can go take some meds and get back to, try to finish my day up a little bit early today. That's my plan. So anyway, we'll be back 3 times next week, and then I think that's it, right? Anything else? Gotta go find my notes. I'm not used to working in this office doing this. I have a different flow of things, but I have 32-inch screens here so I can at least see them instead of little 24s. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week.